Welcome everybody to the IPC Wind Down. I am here with Chad Michael Collins. How are you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing swell. So excited for this interview. I've been looking forward to it for a while. How we start the IPC Wind Down is, did you bring your favorite drink?
Yeah, it's a little bit early over here where I'm based in Los Angeles, so I brought a always trustworthy cup of water in my Alex's Army mug. So yeah, nothing fancy over here, sadly.
Okay, so in 10 seconds, can you tell me what you do?
I'm Chad Michael Collins. I'm an actor. I recently starred in Call of Duty Modern Warfare playing Alex Echo 3-1. I play pretend for a living.
What was your big break in the acting scene?
Yeah, I approached acting really casual. I had moved to LA. I was a journalism major in college, never acted a day in my life. But I came to LA, I started working in the entertainment industry doing public relations, working with actors who were doing TV shows, films, trying to get them press and promoting their projects. And, so I kind of dipped my toe in the acting classes and the waters and found that I really enjoyed it. I'd say the first big break that I had was a movie called Lake Placid 2. So a lot of people have seen Lake Placid, which is kind of a very campy, fun horror movie with like giant alligators or crocodiles or whatever. So we did the low budget spin-off of that for the Sci-Fi Channel. But it was like my first true lead role on the first big deal like SAG production for where I was in my career, and that opened the doors to a great relationship with Sony. After that, I went on to do sniper movies for the Sony Pictures after that. So that was kind of my first big break. It's the first time I got a passport. We filmed in Bulgaria. It was the first time I saw good acting money, for what it was. So I was being paid an assistant salary, which is not good money, living in Los Angeles. So it was a real taste of like, wow, there's something to this. Maybe I should double down on this endeavor.
I mean, you brought up the whole the Sniper series. So what was your favorite experience recording all of those movies?
Yeah, the franchise has been very good to me. For those that don't know, it's been a franchise that's been around since the early 90s. Tom Berenger and Billy Zane were the original stars of a movie called Sniper. Tom did a couple more sequels. They shelved the franchise and then they rebooted it in 2010, and I play Tom Berenger's character's son, Brandon Beckett. So I've done 5 of those movies over the last 10 years, and it's still going. And the next one we put out there, if we do, will be like the 9th. So we're neck and neck with like the Fast and Furious franchise, with 147 million less to make the movies, each movie. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been really, really cool. It's taken me all around the world. It's probably one of my favorite parts about being in those movies is, I've been to Bulgaria, Turkey, Greece. We filmed the first one in South Africa and around Johannesburg, Bogota, Vancouver, Canada, stuff like this. So it's an international production, and it's always a pleasure to be able to travel on Sony's very gracious dime. So I've always enjoyed that about it.
I mean, you have a lot of movies under your belt. What was your favorite movie to shoot?
Oh boy, that's a tough one. I mean, all the sniper movies are fantastic. I feel like each one, it's nice because you get to, you start in some place with in 2010, and then you get to just keep fleshing out that character across each film. So it's hard to pick a favorite. I always say that the last movie I did is my favorite, just because it's in recent memory and I'm grateful for that last job. So, but it's been fun. I did a really fun, action horror western in Texas called High Moon, which was fun, where I got to play like a werewolf slayer from the Old West, and each one brings something really unique and really fun to the table. So I'm really literally grateful for every single project I've been able to be part of.
Why we have you on the IPC Wind Down, the I Play COD Wind Down, is of course your role in playing Alex in Modern Warfare 2019. How did you end up getting that role?
Yeah, I got no call from Captain Price himself. I got a call from a casting director instead. My manager had an audition for a video game, very much typical of AAA titles, shrouded in secrecy, signing all these NDAs, even before I was able to see the audition material, which, they doctored that material because they're so afraid of leaks and they have to protect the material. So it's a bunch of dummy scenes that I go in and prepare. And luckily I worked with Taylor Kurosaki, who's the narrative director on Modern Warfare, who's wonderful, and Brian Bloom, who's an accomplished actor, and he wrote that script. So I worked with those two in the audition. 4 or 5 weeks later, I got a call saying that I booked the role. Still didn't know what the project was, and didn't get the full curtain pulled back until we were like day one on set. And that's when we learned it was going to be a soft reboot of the Modern Warfare franchise, which is cool. It was very exciting because I had played Modern Warfare 1, 2, and 3. You know, I'm a campaign guy, and I really love those games, so it was really, really fun to hop into a slight reinvention of that. I never played the multiplayer, man. I was always a campaign guy. I like the story. You know, I'm a fantasy RPG guy at heart. So, you know, the single player campaigns and the story unfolding, you know, through your character's eyes is always what I've loved most about video games. I will say that, you know, through streaming Call of Duty during the pandemic and dipping my toe into the multiplayer and Warzone components, I totally get it. It's so much fun, man. I am absolute garbage at playing it, but it's a blast, you know, even just to squad up with friends. I had friends from high school I hadn't connected with literally in a decade, and they all play Call of Duty. And just to throw on the mic and the headset and to be able to just mess around in the war zone with them and just shoot the shit, like it was really fun. And I'm a big fan of the multiplayer component. I totally get why people love it.
So the process of recording voice dialogue, do you read with other people, or are you in a booth by yourself?
You know, the actors in Modern Warfare, we were full motion capture. So we were on that soundstage every single day in the full, you know, spandex Velcro suits with the metallic balls all over us to capture our every movement. We had that super HD face cam staring at us with our helmet rig. So it captured voice, obviously, but all the movements, all the facial reactions, like everything was authentically us, you know, in a motion capture role. And then on the back end, we went and recorded hundreds of lines of dialogue, you know, battle chatter and little quips and stuff like that to just kind of throw into multiplayer, to throw into Warzone. But really the whole process was full motion capture with a little bit of voiceover at the end to kind of round out those different games within Call of Duty. So to answer your question, I got to work face to face with Barry Paul Sloan, who plays Captain Price. Claudia Demit played Farah, and Aiden Bristow played Hadir. So I was working more, if you played the campaign, I was working more with the Farah and Hadir characters than anyone else. But I did get to do scenes with, you know, Barry and also Elliot Knight, wonderful actor who plays Gaz, or Sergeant Kyle Garrick. But it was awesome. We had a blast doing that for a year and a half, and really, really great actors and really good people.
Dissect it down time-wise for me. How long did it take to start and finish the mocap, and how long did it take to do all the dialogue, including the battle chatter, including all these little quips here and there?
You know, there's a reason why Activision has 3 developers in rotation. You know, it's Infinity Ward, Treyarch, and I think Sledgehammer, and they have to rotate these games because they take 3 to 3.5 years to make. They're huge endeavors with massive budgets, and you know the quality comes through in those games, but it does take a gargantuan effort across thousands of people, you know, for years. And you know, obviously we shot most of those beautiful cinematic cutscenes. That was what we were doing, you know, in the campaign, and the mission intros and outros and stuff like that. That's what we'd be on set filming. So you know, about once a month on average, we'd come in for a week, and we would, you know, hammer out some scenes. And then, you know, when they were ready, because you know the artists and the engineers, they have to, you know, design the world, and they have to put all the other pieces in place so that we get to go on the set and play pretend. So it was a process where as the artists were developing things, the actors had to come in and then, you know, do the character stuff in the world that they were creating throughout. So it was a long process. I think, you know, all told, it was probably about a year and a half that we were doing that process just for that part of the game itself. And then coming in here and there and whatever, to do the voiceover things. You know, I got a nice surprise call to do that little, you know, intro cinematic scene where Alex was revealed to have survived season 3 of Warzone. So that was really fun. So I went back on the stage and did that little scene, and then did a whole slew of new voiceover lines, you know, for Alex the operator in Warzone and multiplayer and stuff too. So it was fun, you know, and these things are massive undertakings, and they take years to do. And you know, our game was really, really successful, and I'm grateful for that. And it's, you know, it's very rewarding to know you put in all that work, and then it's a hit, you know, critically, commercially, and everything else too.
Do you have a favorite moment in that you know, mocap suit with everybody else, or do you have a favorite line that you have also recorded?
Yeah, you know, I love working with Claudia. Farah, all those actors were super talented and really, really fun. So those group scenes were a blast. But you know, my favorite scene is the last time you see Alex. It's when he, you know, he's in Barkov's, you know, chemical factory, and the detonator gets fucked. as he says, and he volunteers to sacrifice himself and to see this thing through. And that was my favorite scene to film. It was my favorite scene to watch in the game when I played the campaign. Just that nice, touching moment of respect between him and Farah. That's still my favorite. That's still a bit of a little tearjerker for most people I found, and for me myself. So
To prepare yourself for that kind of role, one for Alex and two, for example, your sniper series, how do you prepare yourself for that?
I mean, that's a good question. The video game world is so different, and, we never got a script for the campaign. Yeah, a lot of it felt like they were writing it as they went and tweaking things accordingly. We had maybe a day in advance where they send us kind of the scenes that we'd be doing for that week. So we never got to prepare long term for it. So it was really nice. We got to keep it fresh, original, in the moment. There was quite a bit of great collaboration with Taylor, the director, and Brian, the writer. We had Navy SEAL consultants on set with us every day to help us with our soldierly duties. Moving tactically, and even just the rest positions with those big guns. How a real soldier would kind of conduct themselves, and the difference between Farah's guerrilla style fighting versus Alex, who comes from the CIA and other places. There's a particular way that they would conduct themselves, as a soldier, as a fighter. So we got a lot of hands-on on the day advice and guidance and wisdom, as opposed to a film. You go off and you kind of get a look at the script in advance, and you hopefully would have some time to, get in better shape, and really, really, really have that physicality, ready to rock in the role when you show up on set to film. So yeah, it's different, and I mean, look, we had big, beautiful plastic guns on the set of Modern Warfare, and we have, the real deal guns, when I run around for a sniper movie. So I do, for a sniper movie, go and try to get some tactical work under my belt, go to the range, work with whatever experts and veterans I can to, just tighten things up and learn a little bit more each time I go off to do a movie. But having those Navy SEAL consultants on the day for Modern Warfare really helped us dial in more specific ways.
What would you consider to be the best and the worst thing about being a voice actor and a actor?
Well, we'll start with the worst. The worst is that you're a gun for hire. You're a mercenary. To keep the Call of Duty metaphors going. You're job to job, and you're always on the hunt for the next one. And it's a hustle and it's a grind. And you're self-employed. You run your own business. So the more you invest in yourself, in your career, hopefully the more you see return. But it's a really subjective business. You could get a part because you're the perfect height. You could lose a part because you're too tall or not tall enough. And that's just the nature of the beast. That's what you sign up for. And there's hundreds of thousands of actors out there. All pushing and grinding for the same job. So that's the downfall. Or the hard part. I guess the worst part is, as an actor, you want to act, and sometimes you're waiting a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, sometimes a year during a pandemic to be able to just do what you love to do. So that's always a challenge, when you're an artist, when you're creative, and you're just trying to thrive and to keep things going that way. But the best part, when you do get that yes, when you do hop onto a TV show or a video game or a film or whatever, there's nothing more fun. There's nothing more rewarding. All the work is pretty tough, but I think most actors would agree that it doesn't feel like work once you're in it. It doesn't matter if there's 6-day weeks, 14, 16-hour days. It feels like play, and it's very satisfying to do it. And it comes with a lot of perks. Like I mentioned before, you get to sometimes travel around the world and meet new people and learn about new cultures and see new things. And there's nothing better for me. Variety is the spice of life, as they say. And every single acting job is different, and it's really fulfilling for me for that reason.
Is there a role that has been in your head and you continue to strive to try and get?
Yeah, I got into acting for the fun, man. I remember when I took my first acting class, I was watching that great HBO series Band of Brothers. I love Saving Private Ryan. Braveheart's my favorite movie. I was a big nerd, and I still read comic books to this day. I still play video games to this day. Taking my first acting class, I'm like, wouldn't it be fun just to kind of be in some kind of World War II movie, or just like be a, pretend G.I. Joe for a while, or, step into some sort of comic book universe. So that's how I approached acting. I was never in it for Emmys and Oscars and trophies and trinkets and whatever. It's just like, it just seemed like incredible fun to me. So I've always tried to lean into my sensibilities. I'm a big D&D nerd. Stuff like this gets me excited, in the acting arena. And that's the only reason why I dip my toe in the water in the first place.
Has there been a funny interaction that you keep in your head from shooting Modern Warfare?
Yeah, yeah, we. I'll tell you, the actors were really fun and very funny. You know, I thought Barry did such a great job with the Captain Price character. You know, he paid enough tribute to the old, and he put his stamp on the new, and he was incredible. And he's a fine actor and a really cool guy. And you know, just with the way he walks, it's like we would just be at lunch, like, hey, you soldier, pass me the salt. You know, it'd be like that sort of thing where Captain Price was always gruff and shouting commands, even about sandwich meat and stuff like that. So it was. We had a lot of fun with all that sort of stuff, and you know, they were really fun people to work with.
When you're off your setup and you're off acting and doing all that kind of stuff, and you sit down and you chill out, what do you do to wind down?
I love reading. You know, there's hardly ever a time in my life where I don't have some kind of fantasy novel that I'm devouring. I do love to play D&D, and the pandemic was not good for a lot of things and a lot of reasons, obviously, but it was good for my D&D habit, and I was able to play a lot of D&D, run a lot of D&D games, and immerse myself in those worlds. And I'm such a nerd for that stuff. You know, I love reading comics. I love reading fantasy novels. Reading is probably my go-to choice for when I want to just chill and just take a breath and just relax into an evening or an afternoon or whatever else. I love to dive into, you know, stuff like that. So that's probably my number one go-to.
Worst comes to worst, a zombie apocalypse. You have 3 actors that you can bring with you to help survive. Who are they and why?
3 actors to help me survive a zombie apocalypse. Oh my God. Well, let's bring Barry Paul Sloan, because you know, you need an alpha, you need a team leader. So he'd know what to do, I would assume. Probably shouldn't be smoking too many lit cigars. That'd be a bit of a giveaway. Let's see, who else will we go with? Well, that's a great question. We'll take, you know, Hugh Jackman in his Wolverine Prime. It seems like, you know, those adamantium claws are perfect for lopping the heads off of zombies. Well, shit, we'll go with Andrew Lincoln, who played Rick in The Walking Dead. I mean, that guy would know what's up, right? So, huge fan of The Walking Dead. I've read every comic, and I love the show, and I love Andrew Lincoln's portrayal of Rick. If we had to go with a fourth, you know, make it the 141 plus 1, I'd totally go with Negan. We get Jeffrey Dean Morgan with Negan and his baseball bat, and Lucille, and just, you know, smacking shit around and just being his funny self. That'd be my 141 in the zombie apocalypse.
If you were a cat, what would you do?
Cats are really chill. Cats have grown on me as I've become a salty old man, because cats are very chill and independent and kind of look after themselves, and there's nothing more that I appreciate than that. I'll tell you what, I would hunt, man. You know, I grew up with cats, and they were like outdoor cats. I grew up in the countryside in upstate New York, and you know, these cats would drag back all sorts of mini animal carcass. Like it was bonkers, and I'm like, yo, you are a total predator. Like you're just napping in front of the fire every other hour of the day, but in the meantime, you go out and, you know, you get your feral on, like you get nuts. And so I would like to think that I'd be more of a predator stalker cat, and all mice beware.
Ever since becoming a cat owner, my answer hasn't changed. I would test the 9 lives theory. And now thinking about that is, if, you know, I run in front of a car, I'm dead, whatever. But I mean, if I don't and I survive, that's a great fucking 8 lives. Halfway through the interview, we were talking about you and how you like to, you know, do your thing kind of thing. You like playing Warzone. What's your go-to loadout?
Man, oh man, I was fortunate enough to hop onto a couple films to start 2021. So I was gone from Call of Duty for like 5 months. I didn't play, I didn't stream. So now, like, the Cold War integration, like I'm just like, wait, what does this gun do? So like all my old loadouts, you know, with the Finn and the Bruin and the you know, M4, MP5, whatever, they're all kind of irrelevant now. And I'm like, oh shit, you know, I just feel like I worked really hard to get those guns to a decent place so that I could be an average player. And now I'm like, you know, with my like level 19 Milano, and I was like, okay. For me, it's like I don't play enough Call of Duty to just pick up on the subtle, you know, intricate details. Like if it gives you that much more mobility, I'm just like, you know, in a real firefight, like with me being such an average player, like, is it really going to make the difference? Probably not. If that guy gets the first shot off, I'm dead no matter what he's using, even if it's a, you know, nail gun or whatever. So I don't know. I guess I'm trying to use like the XM4 and the Milano because they're the highest leveled things. So that's what I keep using in Warzone. And I don't know. I don't think it's working out for me, but that's just more because I'm a bad player.
So you said that you were MIA from COD when the Cold War integration happened, how much of a shock was that? How different did it feel to you after coming back and be like, what is all this?
I got to play. I mean, I got to play a little bit. I mean, really, it was like keyboard and mouse down around the start of February. So in January, I was able to play a little bit. December, a little. So a little bit of the Rebirth and stuff like that. But I hadn't picked up the game at that time, so I didn't start messing around with those weapons or doing the multiplayer and stuff over there. So it's very different. I mean, look, Verdansk, the whole map changed. Rebirth is some huge thing now. So it's I think that's the fun thing about Call of Duty is that there's always new guns, there's always changes to the guns. The map will change. They're gonna mix it up on you to keep it fresh, to keep it real. And I feel like learning the map is so instrumentally important. Like we played Rebirth, and I'm like, I have no idea what floor I'm on. Like, where is everybody? And then I'm murdered by a team of 4. There's so much speculation about the Call of Duty games, which is great because it means people love it and they're excited every single year. So they're just guessing, and I think it's fun. And there's a whole YouTube culture just about guessing. And I went through that with the whole Alex, are you Ghost kind of thing, which I love to see. It's because people care. They want to know the backstory. They want to guess right and everything else. But I'll probably play Call of Duty every single year. Hopefully there's titles that I'm in. But if not, I'm hooked on it and I love it. It's the perfect game to stream and have fun with friends on. So I have no doubt that I'll pick up the next one and get down with more Warzone integration and multiplayer and all that fun stuff.
Do you use anybody else's skin, or do you just primarily use Alex's skins?
No, I use Alex. I mean, I gotta use Alex, So I have like the random setting, so it's just like a random Alex skin every time I jump out of a plane. So the thing about the skin is like you never actually see it except for the hands, right? And so I don't ever even remember that it's me until I get the playback and there's my dead body on the ground from the kill cam. So, but I'm an Alex guy through and through for very biased reasons.
Do you have a favorite skin that comes to mind?
I like the Deathstalker. Was a Deathstalker bundle. I think it's called Sidewinder. I love the mask up one, but I love the automaton one too. I love with that full face thing and those awesome gator tactical glasses that he has on. Like I kind of love that. It like kind of gives him like a weird modern day like Snake Eyes ninja G.I. Joe kind of look. So that's kind of a favorite of mine too.
Is there a favorite mission from a past Call of Duty that sticks in your mind to wrap this up?
What was the one where everybody was underwater in the frog suits?
Modern Warfare?
Oil rig?
Yeah, the first Modern Warfare, right, with Price?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a pretty fun one. Like I really enjoyed that one because I did go back and play the remastered, Modern Warfare 1 while we were filming our Modern Warfare, and I was like, oh, this was fun. I remember this. So that was a pretty cool one that stuck out to me.
And on that note, this has been the IPC Wind Down. Chad, thank you so much for stopping on by. It's been a pleasure.
Hey, thank you, man. A pleasure. We'll definitely drop into the Warzone together sometime. So, you can thank me later. It's like, why did I play with that guy? What a waste of 2 hours.